Well, I'm delighted to say I'm joined by Damon Hill Karun Chandhok and Craig Slater, who's up at the home of the world champions. More from you very soon, Craig. But first, Damon, just how excited are you to get back racing?
Well, do you know, sorry, it's crept up on us rather quickly, hasn't it? I was sitting there getting used to my social isolation and the sort of routines, and then suddenly you realise we're only a week away from the first race, and actually going to get a race in Austria in less than a week. Fantastic.
And Karun, the teams will be chomping at the bit too. Plenty of time to prepare and get mentally ready for it. But there'll be a few cobwebs to blow away nonetheless.
Yeah, that's right. I think we've had 5 of the teams now run Formula One cars of some form, most of them running 2-year-old cars, just for the drivers to blow the cobwebs off and get over any rustiness. You know, it's been a while since preseason testing in March. Others like Lando Norris and Carlos Sainz have been in Formula 3 cars because McLaren didn't have F1 cars that they could get up and running. So I think Friday in Austria is going to be an interesting day because it's an unforgiving circuit, Matt. You know, even on a normal season that we go there, we see lots of incidents and accidents on a Friday session. So, and it's going to be busy. You know, while they've obviously had an extended period of shutdown, the engineering minds, the cogs have been turning, and every team is going to arrive in Austria with a heavily updated and revised car from what we saw in preseason testing. So it's going to be a busy 3 hours for free practice, I think.
You are right. Those engineering super brains never switch off. Another person who never switches off is Craig Slater. And I know, Craig, you've got a big story to bring us from Mercedes today. Tell us more.
Yes, news that broke at 11 o'clock this morning. A hugely poignant, powerful, and emphatic message of support from this Mercedes Formula One team for their main driver, the 6 times world champion, Lewis Hamilton, who himself has been a leader amongst British sportsmen in the Black Lives Matter movement. We learned today that Mercedes, both Lewis Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas, will race in black cars this season, switching away from the traditional silver livery. That is the very powerful look they will have for the entire season. They'll also wear black overalls as well. But in explaining this today, Mercedes talked about how they're doing it in order to improve the operation here too. Team principal Toto Wolff said racism and discrimination have no place in our society, our sport, or our team. This is a core belief at Mercedes, but having the right beliefs and the right mindset isn't enough if we remain silent. We wish to use our voice and our global platform to speak up for respect and equality, and the Silver Arrows will race in black for the entire 2020 season. Lewis Hamilton added this: it's so important that we seize this moment and use it to educate ourselves, whether you're an individual, a brand, or a company, to make real, meaningful changes when it comes to ensuring equality and inclusivity. I have personally experienced racism in my life and seen my family and friends experience racism. And I am speaking from the heart when I appeal for change. When I spoke to Toto about my hopes for what we could achieve as a team, I said it was so important that we stand united. Lewis goes on to say a huge thank you to his Mercedes team and to the wider board of Daimler-Benz for what they've done on this. And when you think about it, just how the world has changed and what a key part in Formula One terms Lewis Hamilton has played in all of that. This, a blue chip multinational company with a rather staid and conservative image, I suppose, now taking as powerful a stand at this really is quite remarkable. And a measure of how united they all are in taking this stand is that this black livery for the car was displayed to the team in the factory 10 days ago. Not a word of it got out to the media. It was news to us all today, but what a powerful message.
Wonderful news indeed. Thank you, Craig. Your response to that, Damon, I guess if it's as fast as it is beautiful, they'll run away with the championship.
Yeah, I think it does actually obviously look fantastic in black, actually, but that's not the point. The point is that it's sending a message, and it's also saying that Lewis has used his position as the preeminent driver, not only in the sport, but also the only black racing driver in Formula One. And he's exploited that power that he has to influence those around him at no mean feat to do this, at a big personal risk to himself. He's gone out there and he's encouraged everyone around Mercedes, the race team, Toto, and the whole of Formula One to respond in support of his campaign and his message that we can't just sit around and expect it to happen. We have to express that action and our professed anti-racism is real. And the only way we can do that is actually supporting Lewis in this initiative.
Well, tell us a bit more about the power of the world champion, Damien, because it seems as if you can be talented and principled, then you really do ink your name into the history books. Because I'm thinking, a la Muhammad Ali, you're able to offer an enduring legacy, a profound one.
Yes, I think it's often interesting. Sport is able to throw up these extraordinary characters who are not only brilliant at what they do, they're very passionate also about things that they hold dear. And I think it's not sufficient for them to just want to win everything. They also want to say something. They want to say, well, I'm doing this. I'm passionate about using the position I have to affect some change for something that I'm passionate about. Lewis also expresses his views on animal cruelty and other issues as well. But clearly, his race is a very obvious and dearly felt issue for him. And as he said in his message, his friends, people he's grown up with, his family have suffered at the hands of racism, unfairness, and so forth, and prejudice. So that is to his credit. I mean, Jackie Stewart stood up and put his neck out as a racing driver on the issues of safety. And if you stand up against things, people can make it difficult for you. And I think that in times gone by, the question has always been whether or not sport and politics should mix. But I think that when you have a platform as a sports person and you have something to say, then why not use it? But it is a risk, but I think that here we've shown that there is support for Lewis, and we're very, very. I think people in Formula One are very proud that he's part of Formula One.
Absolutely, and Karun, his team are clearly very proud of him. I mean, just how important is the solidarity that they've shown, the united front from Mercedes on this?
I think it's hugely important for Lewis. He's going into a season where he's on the cusp of equaling Michael Schumacher's record. He's, we've sort of forgotten in the midst of everything that's gone on in the last 6 or 7 months that actually he's out of contract. He's in the middle of a contract negotiation with that team. And I think, again, for him to feel that support for what he believes in and what he's doing outside the car, not just what he delivers on the racetrack, will be hugely influential in that process as well. When he thinks about, where do I want to commit the next stage of my life and next stage of my career with? Do I want to have a go with another team? Do I want to stay with these people who truly believe in everything I stand for? I think that's a strong message from Toto and the Daimler board.